Okay, cheers everyone. It is Amy with Houses of Windsor, and this is Virtual Tea Time with Amy. And today I have a very special guest named Lola Sherwin. Hello, Lola.
Hi,
Thank you for being on.
thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So, Lola, I'm of course really excited because you are calling from, you can say
England.
it, England. Yes. So this is awesome. The Brits, especially the ones that still live there, are always the extra special guests. uh, I have some expats around here, but no offense to them. It's cool that you're still living there.
It's not the same.
It's not. So, okay, so I'd like to ask, what are you drinking and what's on your cup?
Oh, I've got little dachshunds on my cup.
Dash, yeah, we call them wiener dogs, the
Called them
dachshunds or whatever.
sausage dogs. Um,
That's good.
I'm drinking Pidgey Tips with soy
Oh,
milk.
oh, nice. Very nice. I am drinking today actually. So I'll just say it's maybe PG tips because I'll like take them out of the box and put them in my tea canister and then I don't remember what they are. So I'm drinking a British black tea of sorts
The best kind of tea.
with a bit of sugar.
Oh, I can't have sugar in my tea. I find
No.
it too sweet. Mm-mm.
Oh, really? You don't like it at all? Have you never liked it?
When I was a kid, I really loved
Yeah.
it, but now I can't stomach it.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Well, I technically use whatever Truvia. It's like stevia. I don't know.
Mm.
It's, supposedly a better natural sweetener. um, but so did you start drinking tea? Like, when do they start you on tea over there? Like, what age?
I think I've always drank tea. I can't remember a time that I didn't. I think
Yeah,
even when I was like a toddler, my mum gave me tea.
that's what I've heard about people. Yeah, they'd like put tea and like some milk actually in a bottle, and like the babies are
Mm.
just walking around with a bottle of tea, which is pretty
Yeah, I'm
great.
not sure she did that, but I definitely started very young then.
Yeah. So my daughter, who's going to be 3 this month, she started taking an interest in my tea time because I mean she lives with a crazy tea lady. So how is she not? And so her first, I think she tried it, oh, probably within the last like 10 months or something.
Mm.
She wanted to try what I was drinking, and I was like, all right, like there's no way she's gonna like this. So I thought I'd let her taste it and then watch her not like it. And she liked it a lot. And she wanted to like chug the rest of the cup. So, and so far
That's very
every
cute.
so far every flavor of tea that I've given her, yeah, she'll drink any of it if it's like pretty straight up black tea or like a fruity tea or green tea, she'll drink it. Yeah, but it's pretty cute because she'll hold her cup up like this and like she slurps it. She drinks.
Bless her.
Oh yeah, but okay, so I usually say how I know the guest, if I know the guest. So I I know you as of lately, very recently. um so our mutual contact is Rafael dos Santos, who I know through BNI, which is Business Networking International. And Lola, so do you work for Rafael or with Rafael? What do you do?
So I'm interning with Raphael at his magazine as a journalist trainee
Oh, okay, awesome, very cool. So how long have you been doing that?
since July. So 5 months, nearly 4 or 5 months.
How long is the internship?
It was meant to be 3 months, but he just loved me so much.
Obviously. Why wouldn't he? That's awesome. So I don't know how internships go over there. So does that mean you're still in university, or is this like after? Yeah. Okay.
I'm doing my master's degree at the moment in international
Oh.
journalism.
Oh, very cool. All right. Awesome. Well, nice. I guess I'm your international person.
Yep.
You probably had others, but at least I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So, and I sent out to my email list last night, the article. I was pretty excited about it. I was like, look, everybody.
I think it turned out really well, actually.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, thank you. You made sense of my rambling answers. Okay, so you said you are in Leeds right now. Is that where you're from, or where are you from?
No, so I'm from Birmingham, which is like in the middle of England, and I'm in Leeds
Mm-hmm.
for uni. But uni's online at the moment, so I didn't really have to move up. But I like the independence.
Yeah, you like being away. I understand that. My family is all in Indiana, and I'm down here in Florida. So, and before that, I was in Chicago, which was like 4 hours away, but still, that was, I mean, enough distance. So, no offense, family who's watching. Hi, mom. I got my mom on Facebook during the stay-at-home period because, yeah, it's like she really was, secluded, isolated, whatever, as most people were, but she was super cautious just with age and whatever. And so, yeah, it was like, well, so that you can see like what we're all doing, like, the kids and stuff, what we're up to every day. I went ahead and made her a Facebook account. She's like, I don't have to do anything, do I? I can just go and look. Like, yes, you can just look. But now she likes to comment and do stuff.
That's so cute.
I know, so I got her into it. But yeah, so do you have any siblings, or who have you got in your family?
So many siblings.
Yeah.
I've got one sister and 3 half brothers, and a stepbrother.
And are they in Birmingham or spread out? Where are they?
My sister's at uni in Leeds as well, and all my half brothers are in Birmingham. Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. Are they younger or older?
I'm the oldest of 5.
Okay, okay, very cool. So, so I guess since you're getting your master's in international journalism, right? So that I'm assuming makes you want to be an international journalist when you graduate.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, it's like
hopefully one day.
right. Okay, so I don't know much about that world. Is that like, is there a certain, I guess, path you would go with that, or a certain I don't know, company, like magazine, newspaper? I don't know, what do journalists write for nowadays? Or do you go like freelance? How does it work?
At the moment I'm freelancing, but I'm hoping to get on a graduate program. Finish my degree next year, so that would hopefully be at one of the big companies, which would be amazing, but we'll see. I want some TV journalism, so like the BBC or CNN.
Oh, awesome. So, very cool. Well, that's exciting.
I hope.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Okay, so I'll ask you, the main question of my show is, what is your special interest, hobby, or obsession that's like your thing that you geek out over, and it can't be work related?
It's definitely books. I think I've read like thousands of books. I've been reading since I was like 4.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So this is it's perfect for me to interview you on this because I hate reading. So I've got so many questions.
I love it so much. The first book I read was Harry Potter when I was 4 or 5. So.
Oh my goodness! Oh, that's amazing. So do you recall, were your parents reading to you a lot, or like you just kind of took to it? Did it come from school? Did someone in your family read a lot? Where did it come from?
My mum and dad both read like a lot, so they clearly just pushed that onto me. I just really love it. I like to escape into a book. Especially awesome. At the moment, we've just gone into another lockdown, national lockdown.
Oh, you did? Oh no. Okay. When did it start, and for how long?
Today.
Oh, just
today for 4 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations. Happy day 1.
One day out the way.
Oh my goodness, that's nuts. So yeah, so what types of books do you like to read? Like, obviously you started with Harry Potter, but do you like reading like a mix of genres, or is there one in particular?
I literally read anything,
Yeah.
absolutely anything that comes my way.
That's
I
awesome.
just love sometimes, but once I've started a book, I have to finish it. I can't just leave it, even if I
Mhm.
hate it. I have to finish it.
Yeah,
That's the annoying thing,
that's
but
great. You can't not know.
mhm.
Yeah, I'll do that with movies. If I start a random movie and it's bad, I'm like, well, I got it. Like maybe it'll get better. Like, I just keep waiting for it to get better,
Exactly.
and it doesn't always. But yeah, so I used to after college. I worked in Chicago. Lived there for like 4 years, and one of the years I was commuting in from the suburbs on the train. So that was the one year that I read regularly because I had a 40-minute commute each way
Mm.
on a train, and it was like, and because it wasn't a car, like it didn't make me like motion sick or whatever, so I was okay to read on the train. And I read, and I had a Kindle, and so I like read a bunch of, I can't honestly can't remember, like random stuff. I think some of it was definitely British or like related. But that was a year when I think, let's see, it must have been the 50 Shades of Grey. I think all three books were out by that point, and I had been like hearing forever everybody talking all about it. So it's like, all right, let me just see what this is. I didn't like them, but I kept reading them because I was like, I, it's like when I read the first one, it's like, this is so not realistic. And I was like, I understand now that was the point of it. It's supposed to be like a fantasy. I'm like, this is so unrealistic. I'm like, I've got to keep reading to find out where the consequences are like, to these actions. And it never happens. Everything works out happily ever after.
Yeah, I didn't like them either, not at
No.
all. But I still
And
read
so
them all.
yeah, I read them. I was like, well, at least that's one, yeah, series that I was in the know on when everybody was talking. But that's funny. So what are you reading right now then?
I'm reading All the President's Men. It's about the Watergate scandal in
Oh,
the 70s.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's actually not fiction, but
Mhm.
it's written like a novel, so it's really, really interesting.
Oh, cool. That's interesting. I listen to a bunch of podcasts, and I don't know if you know who
Mhm.
Dax Shepard is. He's married to Kristen
I
Bell,
can
an
know the name.
actress. Yeah. So he had on his podcast a guy named Bob Woodward, I believe, who apparently I
Mhm.
should know is like a really important journalist over here and has been like reporting since like for like 50 years. But
Yeah, he actually wrote that book.
that's, oh, okay, he wrote that one. I was say I knew he was like was with the, part of breaking the Watergate scandal.
Mhm.
um, but so it was interesting because he was talking on the podcast. They of course talked about that and all of his, crazy experiences and stuff, and how he's, I guess, written a new book about Trump. I think he wrote another one previously, but on this one, I guess Trump wanted to be like just kind of in on it, like, and so he like called him regularly and like talked to him on the phone. And like Bob Woodward is like, just so you know, like I'm recording all of this, and like, not necessarily going to persuade me to write something, you know. And so it was funny though, because I guess at the end of it, I guess Trump called and he said, like, I just want to let you know, like, that, there's probably going to be some things in there that you think are going to be kind of hard on you or whatever, like, you're not going to like. And Trump's like, oh, yeah, well, like what? And he was like, I don't want to get into it. I'm just giving you a general warning. so, so Trump, I guess, was like, okay, like, whatever. And then, but then he told him, he's like, well, I'll get you on the next book. Like, I'll get you on my side when you write about me again. Like, he hasn't given up on winning him over. But then, Bob Woodward said that like 15, like, 20 minutes later after that call, Trump tweets out that this guy's book that's coming out is all fake. It's all,
Oh my god.
I know. I was like, that's like the best. ever of just hearing like how it's happening behind the scenes and then what happens on but yeah, so anyway, so that guy was very interesting, and I'm sure his book is very good since he was part of reading it. um but so do you like reading more things about US history stuff or British or somebody else's history?
Uh, more like anywhere that's not Britain, because I feel like I know our history quite well. So
Okay.
I quite like US, and I like Latin American because I
Oh,
spent
okay.
time living in Mexico and in Brazil.
Oh,
So
you did. Oh, that's cool. So when did you do that?
2 years ago, because my undergraduate was in Spanish and Portuguese. So I
Oh,
spent a
wow.
year abroad.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
super cool. So are you fluent in both now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. Yeah, my mom was a Spanish teacher in middle
Oh.
school. So that's like, I don't know, grade 7 and 8,
Mhm.
roughly. But yeah, and so I had her as a Spanish teacher. and and then I took Spanish in high school, and I had so much fun with it in high school that I wanted to major in it in college. So that's how I started, was a major in college. And it was all of a sudden not as much fun, like because I didn't have the same classmates, and it just wasn't the same. Like, we were always making up stupid stuff in Spanish, like, stupid phrases and whatever, and having all these inside jokes in Spanish. And like my mom and I would use it as like our secret language from my dad. Like I could speak it well enough so we could talk about like how much stuff costs, like where I'm going. But but yeah, I just never quite, I never got fluent in it, because what didn't help was that I chose to study abroad in London. That's not good to
That's not
Spanish.
good help.
So, but by that point, I had moved it as a minor, and my major was fashion design and merchandising. But so I
Oh,
went over to
wow.
London. Yes, that was fun. I went over to London, um, and yeah, didn't improve my Spanish over there. And then when I got back, and I was supposed to take, I think it was probably like my last Spanish class to get the minor. And I came back in, and it was like, the semester right after the summer. And everyone in the class is talking fluently with the professor in Spanish and laughing. They're like telling jokes. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I was so behind. And it was stressing me out so much. And so yeah, after some different friends support and advice, I was like, they're like, why you don't have to have this, like your fashion major is already making you have a marketing minor, like you've already got 2 majors, why are you forcing 2 minors on yourself? Like if it's not going to happen, then like it's just it's fine, let it go. so so I let Spanish go. And um yeah, so I never made it fluent. But my mom studied abroad when she was still in high school in Uruguay or
Oh,
Uruguay.
wow.
That's how she would want me to say it. And so she was like ahead of the game, I mean, when she got to college, and so she majored in Spanish and minored in Russian,
Oh,
because
oh, wow.
these are like Cold War days. So you might need to know Russian. But yeah, so do you get to use your Spanish and Portuguese much? Do you have like people you stay in touch with?
I've got people I stay in touch with. I don't use it as much as I'd like to, but I hope that, like, by getting a job in an international firm, that I'd be able to use it, hopefully.
Oh wow, very cool. So do your parents, are they cool with you living overseas? Like, do they? I mean, like
They
my
don't
dad's
mind.
like wants me to live like down the street right now, so that's why I'm curious.
No, so my mum's from the Netherlands, so she's
Oh,
moved
okay.
over here. So she's very happy for me to do the
Oh
same.
wow. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah,
And your dad's just like, you do you, like just whatever.
yeah, yeah,
That's very nice.
really.
Yeah, I think my mom's more on that side. Like, of course, she'd like to have me around, but I think she's happy to see me going off and doing things. But yeah, my dad's like, did you want to live in your grandpa's old house? It's like 4 houses down. Like, no, I don't.
No, thank you.
Yeah. And I can say that because my dad's not on Facebook. um, but yeah, so what did you, I guess, I don't know if you can compare them, but would you say, did you enjoy your time in Brazil or Mexico better?
Probably Brazil, because I was studying there and we didn't ever do any work. Whereas in Mexico, I was working at an orphanage, so that was quite
Oh,
intense.
oh my gosh, that sounds very intense.
It
Wow.
was.
Yeah. What did you do? Like, what was your work at the orphanage?
So I was teaching the kids English and just like general childcare,
Okay.
running the organization. Like
Right.
it was really, really, really rewarding. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. And so did you have to stay? I mean, I'm like picturing like a stereotypical orphanage is like a giant place. Was it a giant place where like you stayed there too, or like you stayed elsewhere?
There's 30 girls
Hmm.
and I lived with the directors
Oh, okay.
off site, so not
Wow. So
not that bad.
yeah, how did you get I guess that like how did you end up there working in an orphanage?
We had my university had connections with the directors because people had been to that orphanage before, and I just
Okay.
thought it looked really, really interesting. So I
Yeah. Oh wow, that's really cool. And so yeah, but then in Brazil you got to just like have fun and study.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes, that's what my London study abroad was. So we had, because my major was fashion, there weren't any classes at like our corresponding university there that we were like that I could take physically. So I was doing independent study, just like emailing my professors back home in Indiana. And so they'd, just give me these assignments, projects, and I'd turn them in at some point. But so but we all had to take British life and culture, which was a class in person, and then we all either took art history or theater, like 100. And I chose theater, and so my class. I'm trying to think. I think I only had class on Monday, so because I had both those classes on a Monday. Wednesday was the entire group, there are like 40 of us. The entire group took field trips with like our chaperones, whatever. They had these planned trips for us and we just went wherever the bus took us. Um, and then the rest of the time was free time. So or study time. So it was awesome. And the theater class was like ridiculous because when we did meet, it was fun. Like the guy was pretty fun and easygoing, but he like made a really, I forget, it gave us like a really crazy like final assignment for, I don't know, it was like we were gonna have to write up some kind of little play and like perform it with like, I don't know, paired up. I honestly don't remember exactly, but it seemed something that was a little bit much considering we hadn't been learning anything the whole time. Like he hadn't been teaching us anything. And so we all show up like at the theater. We're sitting in like the lobby the day of the final, and I think we're all like roughly like, I guess we're gonna wing it. We still don't really know what we're supposed to be doing. So, and he never showed up. We waited for like an hour. We're like, I mean, I guess we're just not doing it. So I think we all ended up with A's. It was fine. It was like, it was such a bizarre class. Yeah, the British life and culture one, that one was good, and that one the professor cared and showed up. Um, but yeah, and made us watch Bend It Like Beckham and like write some kind of paper on it. I just remember we watched it like over and over again. Yeah, so that was my study abroad. So what was did you guys have a weekly schedule like that? Like were you like field trips or what did you do?
We had classes, but only I think we had 2 a week or something like that. But they have really, really long classes there. They're like 4 hours long.
Oh,
So
wow.
when you
Okay.
can't leave, you have to sit there for 4 hours. So that wasn't great. But we just traveled most of the time. Like we got as much
Yeah.
travel as we could in. But it's such a big country that
Right, right.
there's still so
That's
much to see.
that's cool. So all of your traveling, did you stay in Brazil or did you go like to surrounding countries?
I did Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, and Peru.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So what do you think of those? Like just from your visits? Did you have any
They're all
favorite
great.
spots?
I love them all.
Yeah.
Peru is probably my favorite,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, really, really
So
beautiful.
because what is it like there, I guess? You said is it like what mountains and stuff or what is there?
Yeah, so it's mountains, and then they've got Machu Picchu. So we went to Machu Picchu, which was so cool because I've always seen it on like TV.
Right. That's really neat.
It's really, really cool to see it in real life.
So I have a friend Connie who lives in Chile. Hi Connie, if you see this, but she lives in Santiago. But before I knew her, literally the only thing I thought of when anybody talked about Chile was that that's where Prince William spent his gap year.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. I gather I'm just enough older than you to have a different relationship with Prince William than you probably do.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
really the sweetest he was in his youth. No.
No, yeah. So I was 14 when he was like 16, and so
Uh,
and that's what I call like prime Prince William time. Like from his age of like 16 to 21, like those were his best years.
it's all gone downhill from there.
Yeah, yeah. From there, it's like I mean, yeah. It's just a little frustrating because I don't want to say anything bad about people who are balding or like that it's fine, whatever. But like if you're Prince William and I'm sorry, but like you were always so hot, like why wouldn't you just like there's plenty of options now to not lose your hair. Like, or even I'm sure that there's even a way you can spend enough money to get a very nice like toupee and we would never know. Like,
So true.
so I just think, he should do it for his country and for me and for Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so let's see. So is there, this might be a stupid question. Are there any royal families and stuff over in Latin America? Like stuff that you know about?
I think they're all now under presidency, so I don't think they've got royal families anymore.
Okay.
Europe is obvious. We've got a lot in Europe.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah, because I thought what Spain still has, right, a royal
Yeah,
family.
Spain, the Netherlands. There's a few others. I can't remember which ones, but yeah,
Okay.
ours is the best.
Well, duh. I won't fight you on that. I mean, the queen's sitting right behind me. I can't say much. um, so, what did you think or did you think when Harry and Meghan left their royal duties?
So I respect him for doing it. Like, if that's what he needed to do, then fair
Right.
enough. But I know that the royal family weren't very happy about it.
Right. Yeah, yeah, I understand it completely, and I really I don't know, it really bothers me when everybody tries to blame it on Megan,
Mm.
obvious sexist undertones there. But
Yeah.
but besides that, it's like it makes sense. Like what I mean, Harry's always been a little more, I guess, shy or whatever. Like I mean, he had like his wild period, but it's just that I think he wants like to be his own thing. But my only issue that I take with it is I'm like, when Louis grows up, he gonna be like, or not Louis, Archie. Yeah, when Archie grows up, is he gonna be like, Wait, what? Like I could have been growing up in palaces and you've got me over here in like California? Like what?
Yeah, I'd be pretty annoyed if I were him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so all my cousins are like cool and still in the royal family. And I'm hanging out over here as an American. Like, thanks. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't appreciate that if I was him. I'd have a word with them.
Exactly. Exactly. But I feel like, I mean, as parents, you know, you can't win. They're going to be upset either way. So,
True.
yeah. So, oh well, this will be his new thing. that that is, yeah, that bothers him, sends him to therapy. Yeah, but so I guess so with the international journalism, what kinds, I guess, are there particular types of stories that interest you that you would want to write about? Like what, I don't know how it works.
Not coronavirus. I'm so bored of coronavirus.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
that. Politics, anything political really, really interests me.
Oh, okay.
So I'm really enjoying the election coverage at the
Yeah.
moment. Even though
That's
it's
awesome.
quite frustrating that it's taking so long to count.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe you can tell me what's happening right now because as I told you before we were on air, it's like I'm just gonna wait until somebody tells me there's the definite answer. Like count.
I think it's pretty close, but Biden's nearly there, closer than Trump is. So,
Okay, all right. Fingers crossed.
yeah, would be good news.
Yeah, that would be.
We need some good news.
Right, right. Oh my gosh, I know. Yeah, sorry everyone if I'm not supposed to be political, but I am. I will be today. And I'm still, when it comes down to it, I'm still a royalist over all of that. So I can only be so patriotic. um, but yeah, which makes me, I wanted to ask you, so when you had to interview me the other day, or assigned to interview me the other day, did you know much about me coming into it, or was it like coming in kind of blind? Mainly I'm wanting to know, did you know I was crazy about England? Is my question.
I gathered that from your
Okay.
from your link to your website, but I didn't know a lot about you other than what I'd read.
Okay. Okay, because I thought it was like, if you didn't have any warning, and then I've got this in my background. Like, it's like surprise.
No, I think it's sweet. I like it.
Thank you. Well, you can yeah, start putting up, I guess, political figures in your background. Whoever entertains you. Oh my gosh. So okay, so wait, so back to the reading for a minute. I know I jump all around. But so okay, so before you were reading this book, All the President's Men, what were you reading before that? Was it something along the same lines or something totally different?
No, it was Jack Kerouac, On the Road, but I didn't like it at all. I thought it was
No.
really bad.
Okay.
I read it in Spanish as well, which probably took away from the whole point of
Wow.
reading.
Right. Wow. Well, okay, so that's a really good way to keep up with your Spanish and it, or
Yeah,
Portuguese. I didn't think about that.
it's
That's
just a
crazy.
shame that it wasn't a good book.
Right. Oh my gosh. So, okay, so you've read, let's see, have you read all the, what, like Lord of the Rings, all of those crazy long books? Okay. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
ask you now, like random books if you read that I know everybody else reads. What do we have? Game of Thrones, wasn't that was all
I've
books
never
before?
read Game of Thrones and I've never watched it either.
No? Okay. I haven't watched it either.
I've
Um,
never got round to it.
yeah, okay. And then let's see, do you read any of the books, we'll say like, oh, I don't know, like Think and Grow Rich, or like any of the, I mean, we don't really call them self-help anymore, but it's like that kind of thing, which is like serious books talking about mindset and like all of those kinds of things.
Sometimes, but
It's-
I can't read too many of them or I get in like a weird mindset.
yeah.
So they're all right. They're not my favourite, but
Yeah. Okay. because I am actually reading a book right now. So the only time I do read is when I have one of my like either mastermind groups or like a business networking group, someone really stresses like slash assigns a book to us. Now, like 3 of those books I started last year and I never finished them. They're on the pile. I'll get back to them at some point. But I started the latest one that was assigned, and it's by Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, and it's called Outwitting the Devil. And I'm actually reading that one pretty well, like consistently, and I'm over halfway through, so yay for me. And I have to say, if you want to venture into those kinds of books or give it another whirl, this one is really interesting in, I guess, the bizarre nature of it, because I won't be spoiling anything to tell you that the main portion of the book, when you get to it, is a straight up interview, question and answer with the devil. And Napoleon Hill even writes in it like, whether you think I actually had a conversation with the devil or you think I imagined it, like that's beside the point. Like pay attention to what is being said, type of deal. So, but it's very, very interesting, yeah, that it is written in such a way. And what I really think is cool about it is, so Napoleon Hill, like Think and Grow Rich came out in the 1930s, and this book he wrote, I think, like 1938, like shortly after that one. But because of the content that's in it, he didn't think it was okay to, like, the world wasn't ready for him to publish it yet, because it kind of goes after a lot of leaders in the community, like religious and educational and everything. So it goes after a lot of them. And so he didn't think he could really publish it yet. And then when he died, I guess his wife still wasn't comfortable publishing it. So it wasn't until after both of them died that whoever is in charge of it, or whoever in the family, finally had it published in 2011. Like, that's how new it is, but it's so old. And I'm like, this is insane. Like, I mean, so I really like that it's like this new book that was hidden forever.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. So I won't reveal much more than that, but it's a neat thing. And I get frustrated that there are these types of books, not that one because it wasn't published yet, but like Think and Grow Rich or whatever some of the older ones are, that I'm like, what, like, why were we not taught this in school? Why aren't these the kinds of things learning? Like, and yeah, and it turns out the devil will address that question. As I read through it, it's like, perfect, I finally know. Yeah, so anyway, so that's my thing, is like the only books I read now are if they're something of that nature, that's like business mindset, whatever, like, yeah. Because with that one though, it's made me like hyper aware of my thinking. So I was like kind of getting a little panicky about that for a bit, but talked it over in my mastermind group, and it's okay. I'm just working through it. It's resonating it's like hitting too close to home with the devil's answers. I'm like, oh shit. But yeah, so have you read any, I don't know, crazy, like any books that have like really affected you, I guess in, I'll say, a similar way or something like that? Anything that hits close to home or you identify with? Or
I think there's been a lot that I identify with, but I can't remember any of them.
Yeah, well, you've also read so many books. For me, I'm like, I have to think about like 10 books.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could narrow it down to just a couple.
Okay. And do you read the actual physical books, or you have a Kindle or whatever?
No, I always read the physical book.
Okay.
I used to have a Kindle, but it's just not the same for me.
Yeah.
I just love holding the book.
Right. Yeah, I'm back to physical books. I have a Kindle. It's like probably one of the first generation ones, but
Mm.
once I stopped commuting, I stopped, I don't know, updating it or doing whatever you have to do. And so now I'm like, I don't even know how to get a book to this thing if I wanted to. So it's just in a drawer. So I guess, so before you were on lockdown, well, let's just say pre-COVID, we're gonna forget that COVID's a thing, right? What were you doing in Leeds, like, for fun? Like, what do you do there? What kind of town is it?
Oh, so I've only moved to Leeds in September. Before that, I was in Nottingham, but
Oh, okay.
it's a really cool city. But they're doing a lot of building at the moment, which is a shame because everything's under construction. But there's some really cool like independent restaurants and bars and
Mhm.
stuff. So we like to go to those. And there's some really good museums, so they're
Oh
nice
yeah,
too.
that's cool. What types of museums? Like
Mostly
art or
like
history?
art galleries. Art
Okay,
galleries, yeah.
okay, that's cool.
I really
And
like them. So
yeah, so you're very good. I don't know. I guess so. You like going to art galleries and spending like a lot of time. Or you? Yeah. Okay. That's. I haven't. I feel like I haven't gotten to that adult point yet where I can appreciate. I have a comedian I listen to, Pete Holmes, and he talks about how if he goes to an art gallery, it's like he'll stand there and look at the painting for he's like, let me stand here long enough that people think I'm getting it. Then like, he's like, and then I'll move on.
I'm not sure I get it. I'm not sure I understand it, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah, okay, well that's good. Yeah, I'm definitely, let's see, I'm more of a, I guess, history museum type person. I don't know, when there's like things to look at, like
Yeah.
objects or whatever, artifacts, that kind of thing. Um, and in, let's see, in Chicago, there's like the science, what is this? No, it's pretty bad. I don't remember this. Science and industry. I don't know. Some kind of science museum. And it's like really big, but they've got like a whole like submarine in it from like
Oh,
World War II or
wow.
whatever. So there's really cool things to like actually go inside and see.
Mm.
Hmm. But yeah, so did you, let's see, did you play any sports or anything as a kid?
I hate sports.
Perfect.
I'm not even sporty at all. I just hate it. I can go for a run and that's it.
Yeah, I love it. And so watching sports, is it the same?
No, I don't mind watching sports, but only certain sports like football or soccer, I
Right.
suppose.
Yeah, I didn't think you were watching
And
American football.
no, definitely not. But I, I'm not a big sports fan, definitely not.
No. Yeah, I did not. I grew up trying lots of different things and quitting all of them, like after one go of it. um, and so, and I definitely don't like watching sports.
Mm.
But the only my only thing is that I like watching figure skating if it's on and I catch it. I'm not good at paying attention to when it's going to be on, like TV or whatever. But um, and I like doing it myself. And actually, I just put Piper in ice skating lessons, so she just started a few weeks ago, and it's adorable, and she loves it. um, but yeah, regular sports like American football, if that's on the TV, that means it's nap time. Like that's really good white noise, just for in case you're wondering. It's like the perfect white noise machine to sleep to. Um, oh no, you froze up for a second. Are you there? Oh, you're back. So I just looked at the time. I have to ask you one of my biggest questions. Do you have any ghost or alien stories?
So I think the only one I can think of is when we lived in Spain when I was like 6 or 7. Um, my mum's ex's son said that he was at home by himself and he'd put his dinner on the table and he'd gone into the kitchen. He came back and his dinner just flew across the room. I guess that's a ghost story, sort of.
Yeah, that's a ghost story.
I
So
can't
did it
think of
freak
any
you out?
others.
Did it freak you out, like being in the house then?
Yeah, I felt so weird. I can't live here anymore.
Do you remember? I know you were young. Do you remember like how old the house was? Like roughly? Oops, we froze again. Let's see if you come back. Oh, are you back?
Yeah,
Perfect.
sorry.
Sorry. Okay. So I was asking, did you know roughly how old the house was in Spain?
I think it was quite recent built, like 70s or 80s. It wasn't like really old, so
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know
Okay.
what.
So must have had just one person die in it.
Yeah,
They like to throw plates.
yeah,
That's awesome.
scary.
Yeah. So well, the building that you're in now, are they like dorms or flats or where do
No,
you live
so
now?
it's an actual house, but I share it with
Oh,
three other people, three other girls. Yeah,
oh, okay. Do you know how old is that house? I love how old stuff
I
is
think
over
they
there.
are quite old because they're the terraced houses from like before the war, so
Okay.
they're quite old.
Yeah, that's awesome. um, yeah, I always make fun of there's a historic building here near Orlando that's a beautiful like little mansion.
Mhm.
But it was built in the 1920s. So I'm like, guys, come on. So um yeah, I'm like, we've just reached the 100-year mark. You've been calling it a historic building like forever. But what's funny, so I have a friend over in England. She's from Reading, but she lives in London now. And I remember when I was there visiting her in 2018, and her flat, like let's see, she was talking about it with her friends, and they were like, "Oh, it's so nice though that you got like a modern one, like a newer building, 1920s." I was like, I was like, that's amazing. So we're like, oh, it's historic. And they're like, oh, at least you got a newer, newer building.
That is good.
I know. Yeah, it's just wonderful. Yeah. I mean, she's done updates to it because I guess when you buy a flat over there, do you still call it a flat, whether you rent or own it
I
or
think yeah,
lease or
yeah,
yeah. Okay. Okay. Because wait, what do you say instead of rent? Do you say lease it or
I say rent, but some people say lease.
okay, okay. But if it's a car, that's for hire, is that
Yeah.
right? Okay. Okay. It's like something's for hire. That's awesome. Okay, well, I've asked you a million questions. Thank you for answering all of them. Do you have any unofficial questions for me since you've already done your article?
I don't think I do actually, but
That's all right. No problem. I thought I'd give you one last shot. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being
thank
on
you
here.
so much for
It's so
having
much
me.
fun. And as I told you, it was killing me when you interviewed me, and I was like, clearly I have all these questions for you. Like, had to hang up. I was like, I don't know anything about her. It's driving me nuts. So thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on. And I hope you have a lovely evening. I will sign off to everyone. So thank you for watching Virtual Tea Time with Amy, whether live or later or into infinity, as it will be up on YouTube until the internet dies. So, so cheers, everyone. Cheers, Lola.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.